Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special show today. I have with me Miss Carolyn Bell and Chris Johnson. And primarily, these two people are very, very active in our community, as you may know, with OCMA. And Chris, most everybody has seen you all riding around on bicycles.
Yes.
Most everybody has seen the activity of these young people and the positiveness that we've seen come out of this program. We're working on a decade of OCMA.
10 years we're coming up on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, Miss Carolyn, I believe it's the first time you've been on. I know it is with me, so welcome to you.
It is. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in, and we just want to know a little bit about you. Now, how long have you been involved? Since the origin?
10 years.
Awesome.
Well, Chris and I both worked at the VA, and he pulled me in, and I just fell in love with the things he do, because I know one thing about it: God has given him this mission to do this, and so I know it's true. So I try to be true to that too.
Mm-hmm. And when people meet Chris, Carolyn, we can talk about him because he's right here, okay? But when people meet Chris and they walk away, if I'm around, as in just last evening, I was having dinner with someone, and Chris came by, talked as usual, in his usual self, and walked away, and the person asked, is he that energetic always? Is he that passionate about what he's doing? And is he true?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
is.
is. And yes, he is.
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
compelled to do this work. My mom, for many years, did the same thing. You know, she helped raise a lot of children, single moms. She assisted all her life, and as a young man, I didn't really understand why she committed so much energy and caring for these young people and helping out with so little resources. And of course, she would say, "Well, you'll understand one day, boy." You know. And after I raised my family and working with youth in the school systems and after-school programs,
Yeah.
I found the need that we have to give back to our youth in the same manner that it was given back to me by a lot of people in this community that we give honor to every day. You know, Mr. Manning and Mr. Breyer. You know, there's a host of individuals that helped us up when we were growing up.
Yes.
You know, Reverend Edmund. I can go down a whole list of people that I grew up under in the South Side that would always look out for the kids. And so we're just doing the same thing.
Yeah. And you saw the example. You had the example. That's so important for us to be examples to our young people. But Chris, first time I get to reflect just a moment here, because I have a son. My youngest son's graduating senior this year.
That's right.
And my first impression of you was on IFL football field as a coach.
Yes, sir.
You were involved with that and helping those young men. And then from there, I just saw you doing more and more and more. And what a great example you are in our community and feeding into young people. But we find so many fathers who aren't involved. But it's getting better. It's such a joy to see any father out with their kids, spending time with them, and once you see that, once you understand that, you have so much respect for men, don't you, Chris? Don't you, Carolyn?
I
Well,
do.
you know what? I find that parents, period, a single good parent, a good mom or a good father, right, that's going to look out for the best interest of their child.
Go, man.
That single mother will find someone, a pastor in the church or a neighbor or a coach like myself, that will assist her with raising that young man. A good parent will. So it's not necessarily, have to throw that thing on about, males not being in their lives, because good parents will find whatever's necessary to raise their children. Now, we do have problems in our community. And we, the OCMA, we put ourselves in the position to be surrogates, And so we have, moms and dad surrogates,
Yeah.
within the organization to help out families that are reaching out to us.
Yeah. And want to be a part, because you've been an example for almost a decade now. Okay, so Carolyn, you first met Chris at the VA, through the VA.
We was both employed at the VA, yeah, and he just nagged at me, and tugged at me. So God put it on my heart when I really learned that he was really, it was a mission and positive. And I wouldn't do this with anyone else but Chris, because I know God has put this on his heart. And his quote is,
Amen.
Carolyn, it's not about us, it's about the kids. And he sleeps, eat, breathe kids.
We've
That
had
he do.
some great history in this program in 10 years. We had a chance to meet a lot of great civil rights, you know,
Yes.
icons. And our travels, we used to go and reenact the Bloody Sunday March with Congressman John Lewis. We've hung out with Mr. and Mrs. Lowry at their Drum Majors Award. And we were guests there because kids won an essay contest. Um, we had young people to walk with. Larry McGirt has traveled with some of the most iconic people on the planet from here to Alabama. And so he has this portfolio of very prestigious people that we were able to meet and converse with and be an inspiration to our kids so that they could see that they can elevate above any circumstance that might be against them. And so it's always been about empowerment, and we've always tried to find new creative ways to empower our young people with on a zero budget. We don't have no
Start
money.
from there. There's only one way to go, and that's up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's something that we learned growing up on the South Side. You know, you don't have a lot. You just have to give a lot. You know.
You know, and that's true throughout our community. It really is. The South Side, North Side, East Side, West Side. There are pockets of people there, you know, people, families who struggle and they don't have anything. But if you want to do something, you can get it done
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
by determination
Right.
and having faith and putting that faith to work.
And that has what sustained us. And we've been having a lot of fun. Well, I'm very proud of the young people that we've had to, you know, that we've brought, you know, straight through adulthood, you know. And so we got kids that are in medicine and principals and, you know, police officers and business people that are doing great, married with children. I'm a grandfather and a grand coach.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So, Carolyn, tell me about what you do to make OCMA a success.
Well, I mentor Chris, assist him in whatever he needs for his behavior with the kids. I make sure when they're going on trips, everything is packed up. I make sure everything he needs for his taking care of transportation is done. Just whatever Chris needs, it's
You're
right
there to
hand.
help.
I does it. Yeah.
All of the
Yeah.
administrative stuff
Yeah.
that, when we decided to start this board, wanted to relieve me from all of the administrative stuff.
Yes.
And so she handles all the business side, you know, to try to coordinate fundraisers and things like that. I work directly with the kids. I have to ride the bicycles. You know, I have to do the counseling and other programs to keep the kids active and engaged. And, you know, I'm very proud that, 90% of all our kids in the group, which is 21, are on honor roll. So we were
Yes.
blessed, you know, with the honors that the kids got this year. I had one young lady to go to RESA Math Nationals. She was first place in the state of Georgia,
Wonderful.
and she went to Nationals 2 weekends ago, and she did very well.
Good.
We're going to continue to develop these young people academically and socially, and of course we have a lot of fun activities for them to do.
Such as?
Well, tomorrow we're going to Bragg. So we're going to be riding 300 miles across North Georgia starting tomorrow morning. So this evening is going to be what we call a big spaghetti dinner. We call it Big Daddy Getty. Lots of meat.
Yeah.
And so we'll leave in the morning. We're going to go to Rome, Georgia. We're going to ride across North Georgia all the way to Hartwell. It's going to be a great adventure, a lot of hill climbing, but that's part of the challenge. We prepare the kids for this, and at the end of it, it's going to be a great sense of accomplishment.
No doubt.
You know, and there's great rewards and accolades from all of the people in the cycling community. You have to be there, Ron. A great environment for children
Yes.
cycling. It just marries perfectly. And then after that, we'll start our first Lego robotics program. And so that STEMS program will help all of the kids academically because they have to do research. They have to program the robot. They have to use engineering skills to solve problems. This year, we're talking about space and what type of challenges space will present to mankind, and we'll research that to see if we can find a problem for them to solve. So it'll be a discussion that we'll review in all aspects. Then they'll pick one problem and then come up with some solution. Be interested to see what they come up with.
Mhm. Let's stop on Bragg just a minute, back up on that now. You didn't just fall out on a bicycle and you're going to go ride 300 miles. You have been training for months on end. You have to prepare everything, make sure your bicycle's in good shape. Someone either has to be the lead or follow, however you do it, to make sure that, you know, you're protected well, and the young people. And you can't just jump out and do the whole trek. So when you first started out, when was it, and about how far did you ride on the first few days in just training?
We start in February after Valentine's Day, and it's a little cool, but that's when we start.
Yeah.
And we start out with the experienced riders that have ridden with me in the past do a good job. We'll always try to incorporate new cadets every year to try out for Bragg, and they're kids that are waiting to participate in Bragg.
Wonderful.
They have to be in the 6th grade, and a lot of our kids, they start in our group, in the OCMA group, at the age of 9. So some of them have been riding, not ready for Bragg yet, but they've been training for a few years.
Yes.
So we'll start in February. We'll do 5 miles, 10 miles, and then we'll keep stretching it out. We're teaching them road etiquette, how to ride as a team.
Yeah.
We have several positions that kids, or roles that kids have to play. We have our leader, and this is someone that's very experienced, that we trust. They lead us through traffic. And there's, a method to how to ride safely amongst cars. And so the leader understands all of these road regulation and guidelines. And so we have a leader, we have someone in the rear that watches our 6, traffic control. Of course, I ride behind them, but I'm watching them, but I'm always the last one in the formation. And then everyone else follows the leader. And so there's a lot of reference to life that we can teach the kids about working as a team, following your leader, and how to be courteous to each other when we're riding. And so when we do go on team rides or these organized rides, we appreciate other cyclists. This is, well, your kids they understand the rules so well, because they'll say, well, pass it on the left, or they'll give the proper, signals and things like that.
Yes.
So it's a
And
great.
and what a wonderful feeling it has to be to accomplish something like that for young people. Anytime you accomplish a feat like that over days, especially the training and then the culmination of it all, the competition of it, and finishing it as a team, and then being able to celebrate that.
Yeah.
with
But
each other.
then again,
How wonderful.
being out in the community, there's a lot of beautiful parts of Dublin that you can only appreciate from a bicycle. So you're riding through the city all the time in the car, but on a bicycle you see things differently. So there's certain areas that we just love, to travel through.
Yeah, and it always excites me. If you see them out, obviously be very careful, but blow your horn.
Share the road.
Yeah,
Past 3 feet.
wave at 'em, past 3 feet away. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but encourage these young people. It's amazing to me that they are dedicated to that point. They're going to show up, and they love showing up. They show up with enthusiasm.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
got
contagious,
kids,
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
I got kids that are waiting. We have we're at full as far as our roster this year. Usually I take 20. I'm at 21, but we have kids waiting. So some kids will transition out of the program, and then we'll make slots for others. Or if other people want to volunteer, we can expand the team, provided that I have to match the child adult ratio. So right now I'm at 20.
So how would one get in touch with you all?
You can reach out to me on social media, on Facebook. Just look up Christopher Johnson, or you can call me at 478-697-3841. If you're interested in riding with the Dream Team, we'd be happy to have you.
Awesome. Carolyn, Chris, we'll take a short break and be right back. We have a wonderful event coming up in the community we want you to be a part of. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Experience the perfect blend of style and comfort at Hunters Point Luxury Apartment Units. These 3-bedroom, 2-bath duplexes are beautifully designed with a look of hardwood flooring, modern fixtures, and plenty of natural light. The kitchen is outfitted with stainless steel appliances, beautiful countertops, and cabinetry. And these brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bath duplexes are complete with garage. These duplexes are move-in ready. Hunters Point Luxury Apartment Units. Call Kay Grace & Company now at 353-1123 and visit Hunters Point Luxury Apartment Units, conveniently located on Claxton Dairy beside Springdale Park.
Hello, I'm Candace Ivy here at Community Bank of Dublin, Lawrence County. We have same-day loan approval. We have lenders on site that will take care of any of your financial needs. So please come by and see us today at Community Bank of Dublin, Lawrence County.
All right, welcome you back again here with Carolyn and Chris with the OCMA Dream Team, and there's an event that's coming up that you all are taking part in and helping to continue. It's been going on a couple of years. Juneteenth. I guess it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago or so was the first one. I'm trying to remember exactly. We had a lady come in and
Actually, it was, I think we were in our 6th year.
6 years. Time flies when you're having fun. 5th? Okay, we're gonna go with 5th or 6th year.
Right.
Like 13, 12 or 13.
I think it was 2012.
Yeah.
And it was.
But our community really took hold of it. Really took hold of the celebration. And Juneteenth. Share with us, Carolyn, what Juneteenth is for those who don't know.
Juneteenth is a celebration of end of slavery, and so Chris started it, I guess, about 5-6 years ago, and it's just a wonderful thing for everybody that's shared all over, the United States and all. But we're just glad to have it here started, and it's just progress every year to so much. So we're just pleased to start Juneteenth here, and that. So Chris is the chairman, so he can give you a little more than I can because he go deep down in depths with it.
But with the history of Juneteenth, it's fascinating to me. And you think about that news didn't travel the way it does now. People didn't know things. And
Internet back then.
Yeah, they
Right.
suppressed information in order
Right.
for personal gain.
Right. And there are a lot of different, stories out there about the reason why that 2.5 year lapse in time, because some people say they wanted another yield of cotton crops. Other people say, well, they just it took the Union Army so long to get there. There was a delay of 2.5 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, when General Garner arrived in Galveston, Texas, and he read that the third order pronouncing that all the slaves were free, and they celebrated. And in Galveston, Texas, where this Juneteenth started, and Juneteenth is sort of like a mnemonic of June 19th, and they pronounce it Juneteenth, and they celebrated that day every year in Galveston, Texas. It's a state holiday, and it's celebrated across the world, actually. So when I discovered it, we were doing, the OCMA group started working with the Black History Committee, and we would put together Black History programs every year. We would start our African American Studies in October. When I discovered this holiday, I was fascinated by it, and it was like, this is actually the second Independence Day. That and as you research the whole story, it was a significant elevation in the moral consciousness of this country, America, to overcome a very dark past. And so when you look at the whole story and understand the sacrifice and the collaboration of people to do a moral reconciliation, it is something that we should all be very proud of. So we try to recognize and embrace everyone in the community, because there are a lot of ranging ideas and thoughts about the whole process, what we all have in common is lovers of freedom and independence.
Yes.
And so that's something that we can all agree upon, and we can have the conversation and discussions about the whole story, because a lot of people aren't familiar with Juneteenth and this
Right.
other Independence Day.
Yes.
But I'm very proud that where we are now, because these are better days, and better days are coming.
Yes.
Especially in this in this current environment. I think people's focus is all wrong.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a little more optimistic and grateful.
I am too, and I've always loved diversity
Yeah.
in America.
Yes.
That's what we are as Americans. That's what we are as people. If you don't embrace diversity and love the person that you're talking to, it does. You love that diversity. You love
I
to.
teach my kids. I says, no, look, it has nothing to do with color, young people. It has everything to do with an individual's beliefs and what they think, which is colorless.
Yes.
And so, in all incidents in history, in whole story, what we call it, whole story, we've always been our best when we were a diverse group working together. There's
Yes.
nothing else in history that we've been able to do segregated. We've always been able to do our very best, humanitarian work in our society together.
Yes. It's that old saying: "Divided, you fall."
Right. And so even though there are, like I say, a lot of range, and I hear a wide range of opinions, and I appreciate and I listen, but still the fact remains, when you look at the whole story, our biggest accomplishments is when we've always worked together.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. And again, a cliche maybe, but the truth's the truth.
Yeah, the truth is the truth.
Yeah. So we have wonderful events coming up. You have planned several things coming up in June, and here we are.
On June 9th, on the day that we return back from Bragg, on the 9th, finish that 300 miles, we're gonna make it back here for our kickoff dinner with Gene Nash. He's the author of a book called All of God's Children. This is a story about a local story about a family that was yearning to be free from slavery. And so he talks about his grandfather. There's another interesting story here locally. It actually happened in Macon. It's about Ellen and William Craft. And they were slaves in 1848, and she was a mulatto, and she could pass for white. And so they wanted to be free. So what she did was she disguised herself as a white male, and that was injured. She couldn't talk, so she didn't have to speak. And her arm was injured, so she didn't have to write because she was illiterate. And so her husband, which was, very dark, like myself, they traveled. They didn't run away in the Underground Railroad. They traveled first class on, riverboats and stagecoaches all the way to Philadelphia.
Wonderful.
And I think that's just a wonderful, very romantic story
Yeah, it sounds
during very
like it.
trying times,
Yes.
and it happened right here out of Macon, a local story. I love that story.
That's good. That'll be a wonderful evening, a meal, and an interaction as well that evening.
Yeah.
Right?
So we'll get a chance to talk to this author and hear some other great stories about how people can be creative and accomplishing things that they're passionate about. I think it's going to be a very interesting time. I have a few tickets left. It's going to be a very small group, so I think we do have a few tickets left.
Yes.
So if you want to be a part of that discussion with Gene Nash, you can give me a call at 478-697-3841, and we'll try to scrap up some tickets for you.
All right. And then, Carolyn, we have an event taking place at Stubbs Park, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, that's the big end kickoff, because that's the time when the kids have more funds, because we have Bouncy Bounce, we'll have open mic this year, right?
Open
We'll
mic.
have open mic. And so, it's just a lot of fun for everybody, and you have vendors in selling, cooking, and everything, and even the city will be there. So it's just an awesome time, because when people get together, and it's something for the whole family, from the kids on up to the adults because it's something to do, to enjoy at all times. So
I'm
it's just
going to
wonderful.
have some of the biggest water slides
Oh,
there is in the
yes.
industry
You do.
there. That's going to be a lot of fun because it's hot and we're going to want
Right.
to cool off. And there are going to be vendors there. I'm sort of letting a group of young people, you know, host this Juneteenth festival because it's
Wonderful.
imperative that they get involved. And so
Right.
there's a group of young people that are orchestrating the Juneteenth festival this year. Have a young DJ, DJ Yummy V is going to be the MC. And then there should be live entertainment there from some other young artists in the community.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested in see what they're going to do. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. But
The
we're going to
date
have
and the time again?
this is going to be on June 16th. It starts at 2 o'clock and it'll go until around 8. And the live entertainment will be over in the evening.
Mhm.
But in the daytime, it's going to be lots of water slides and fun and vendors and family fun. So come
Yeah.
out and just have some fun.
Yeah, an open mic. So what you gonna do at the mic?
Oh no, I do enough. I do enough for that. We're gonna let everybody else. Why don't you come out and
Everybody
help?
else
We'll
have a
let you do
turn?
some.
Okay, that sounds like a plan now.
Now,
Yes.
now the earlier that day on June 16th, it'll be our sixth annual Jubilee ride. This is a bike ride that the OCMA Dream Team does every year to commemorate the family. You know, you can imagine when the slaves heard that they were free, the day after, they went to find family members. So they walked across the South. And they put in ads to look for family members that were sold in slavery. So we do a bike ride. And this year's bike ride that the Dream Team is going to do, we're going to visit all of the historical black high schools that was in Dublin, Lawrence County. So Mary Fleming and Millville and Oconee and B.D. Perry.
Yeah.
We're gonna travel. We're gonna visit every last one of those schools on our bike ride. So I think it's gonna be about 57 miles.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So to commemorate the family, and you know, family was important then.
And
That helped.
understanding.
Yeah.
Understanding
Yes.
our history, right
Right.
here in our community first, but overall, you know,
Yes.
it's been said many times, you don't know where you're going until you know where you've
Come
been.
from.
Exactly.
That's right.
And I hope to initiate that interest in the community and families to sit down and talk about it. You know, I would love to. You know, I love Miss Julie Drigger when we first started. In, the OCMA group, I would take kids by her house, and she would sit them down.
No way.
Yeah, she would sit them down, and she would tell them about her
That's good.
experience
Yeah,
in
that's
Florida,
Yeah.
and show the trophies, and so she inspired me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to continue to teach the young people because I think it was the kids were following me one day, and I went over to work on the computer at her house, and she did that, and so I continue to do that.
Yeah.
That sharing, you know, that she did was, I think, was magnificent.
Yeah.
So
So
I-
enlightening to them. And-
So I think the elders should tell more stories. Yeah.
Yeah. How wonderful.
Yeah.
So we hope we've encouraged you today to become a part, to get in touch with Chris on Facebook or by the number that we have up on the screen there, or speak with Miss Carolyn Bell. We appreciate
You know what? Now there's one other event,
Mhm.
and actually it's going to be the biggest event. This is the Days of Independence fireworks show
Yes.
Yes.
on the fairground.
Right.
Freedom Fireworks is one of our big sponsors of the Juneteenth and supporters, and so they have this huge fireworks show on June 30th. It's going to be magnificent.
Yeah, that'll
And-
be at
and-
the Civitan Fairgrounds. Is
Yeah.
it the second, third year? There again, I'm
This
trying
is
to
the
pin
second
you
year.
down. Okay, second,
second year,
Yeah.
Yes.
and I was informed that it's going to be 3 times. He didn't say 2 times. He said 3 times. It's going to be 3 times.
And Ryan's
you know.
passionate about it too.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so if you come to the Civitan Club at the Fairground on June 30th for a fantastic show.
Yeah, at about dark.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and you'll see it for miles around, but come out, that'll be something
Yeah,
to see.
that'll be
Because
awesome.
last year was a great show.
It was,
The
but
fireworks were special, but
So,
3 times?
3 times?
Setting the bar high, isn't it?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
But it's great to get out and celebrate with the community. Carolyn, why don't you encourage people to get in touch with you all and tell them what it's meant to you over the last nearly 10 years to be a part of such a wonderful organization?
It's such a heartwarming uh, thing because we have kids that has gone on to success, and it's just wonderful to see the kids do so well. And then too, your heart goes out to kids. You wanna be there for them. You wanna do things for them. So this program means so much to me about the kids because I love them. I love them, and we do wonderful things. And the kids, all they want is someone to give them that attention. So we try to do that and give them things to do. And there's so many opportunities in this group because kids have gone places that they would never go, and they've seen and done things they would never do. So that in itself is just a blessing for them to be able to do that, and enjoy it and go back and tell another kid about that, the history. Because one thing about it, they always, when they do things like that, they have to come back and they have to share it with someone else.
Don't you know it?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's such a blessing you get to be a part of it.
Yes, I do. And
You're
I thank
privileged
God.
to be a part of it,
I
aren't
do.
you?
I thank God for it. Yes,
Thank
I do.
I want to say also there are other organizations that are doing good things with kids.
are.
But there's not enough.
Right,
So it doesn't have to be OCMA.
right.
It can be your own group. But I encourage anyone to go out and spend time with your children, and that's the, just call it magic. Just call it magic. Spend time with the children
Yeah,
and find something interesting that they want to do, and spend time with them doing it. And they will listen and they will follow your lead if you spend time with them. And so when we're going camping this weekend, there's no social media, there's no telephones and nothing like that. We're riding bicycles and we're doing other things, more interpersonal, And so any organization, any group can do what OCMA does, and some are not enough
right.
because there's so many. And so more.
Thank you. Thank you both for being so encouraging,
Thank you.
for such wonderful smiles and beautiful eyes and caring.
Thank you.
Thank
And,
you.
and it shows
And,
that,
and thank you, Ron, because you and I, we go way back.
yeah.
And you would always reach out and help out, and so we'd be able to sustain this community work with your help.
Well, it's all about community, and
Yes.
when we help all those in our community, then it
Yes.
helps our entire community.
It
does.
It brings
It
us
has.
up. So,
Yeah.
and we're looking forward to a great Juneteenth. We're looking forward to the activities. We want you to turn out and be a part of it.
Come
We
on now.
do.
Once again, Christopher, Carolyn, thanks for being with us today.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.